Hi, folks. Smoking Joe with the Crack Culture Podcast on Rumble and Smoking Joe Nation YouTube. I recently just tried to do a TikTok. It didn't go so well, so I'm going to rehash that. Plus, I got some special information I'd like to give out to you. Many people have called and asked me for the documents on Mayor John Gunther. So let me go over what I said on my failed TikTok, and then we'll get into that. Many of us, the last thing we want to hear about is politics. If you're like me, I got tired of the corruption, feeling like my voice doesn't matter. I've worked my entire life to provide for my family, but at the end, there's very little left over. So I decided to make my voice matter and expose the corrupt politicians who are living large from our hard-earned tax dollars. So I started filling out public records requests and found out that our vote really doesn't count, especially in Southwest Florida. Most of our politicians are placed in office by political strategy companies like TM Strategies and others, Ballard Associates, Dane Eagle, there's several. After I got my findings, I found out that the mayor of Cape Coral, Stipend John Gunther, he had doubled the salary of the council members and himself in the way of a stipend in which the citizens had no say. So I filled out a public records request on the mayor of Cape Coral, Florida, John Wilber Gunther III. He had been arrested and charged with breaking and entering of a dwelling, assault and battery, theft, multiple malicious destruction, disorderly in public, and the police officer's statement went as far as to say John Wilber Gunther took an Oldsmobile and tried to run over the man who Gunter was having an affair with's wife. People, it's our duty to identify these public officials. And who knows? You might have the next Ted Bundy running your city. Now, stick around because I got a special gift for those that can guess this. Here is the charges summary on Mr. Gunter. You can see this is the official paperwork, official copy. This happened in Arundel County, Maryland. I want to make sure that you see I have every bit of evidence. This is the handwritten statement from the police officer who arrested John Wilber Gunther III. This is what, still more of the arresting officer's statement on John Wilber Gunther. Here's more of it. Just so you know, I've got every bit of it. And here's even the people that was involved in it. This is a true original copy from the District Court of Maryland. And that's Anne Arundel County. Still more. There was plenty. This police officer had plenty to write down. Now, right here, he took a plea. He just, instead of doing the trial, he took a plea. Now, I looked at the very first page of the charges I just showed you, and let's just see. The first count, he was facing 3 years and or $2,500 penalty. The second charge, he was facing 18 months and or $500 penalty. The third charge, he was facing 3 years and or a $500 penalty. Fourth charge, 3 years and or a $2,500 penalty. Fifth charge, 3 years and or a $2,500 penalty. And 60 days and or $500 for disorderly public in the public place. Now, he pled guilty to 2 counts in his plea bargain, and that was to one of battery and malicious destruction. he was guilty on all counts. And I don't want to show this too hard because this is going to be the special gift here. So what had happened is apparently John Gunter was having an affair with a woman that lived a couple houses down the street. He's seen her husband and her taking their children to enroll in school, and he become enraged, according to what the police officer has wrote. So later on that day, John went to the lady's house, went in the restroom, and destroyed the entire restroom, the commode, the tank, the vanity. He did total destruction. He tore out the walls. He threw TVs, microwaves through a bay window. When the police officer arrived, people were standing out witnessing him throwing a sectional couch out the window. And later on, the police officer also stated that Mayor John Wilber, Gunter III, tried to chase down the husband of the woman he was having an affair with, while the man was riding a bicycle and John was driving an Oldsmobile. I tried to call John and I asked him if he wanted to discuss what happened in Anne Arundel County. He didn't return my call. He did try to shut me up in public comment the other night, and he also said he'd be happy to talk about it. But he wasn't happy to talk about it when I called him. My question for you is, all of the establishment politicians have endorsed him. What do you establishment politicians have to say for yourselves now? What do you, Terry Miller, you're the one that backed him. And of course, I understand that he paid you $50,000, $60,000, so you probably just looked the other way. It didn't matter as long as you were getting paid. So I want to know right now, what do you establishment politicians that endorsed John Gunter have to say for yourself? And the people at Cape Coral, how do you feel about this being done? Are you not worried about how vicious this man could be? Could he lose control again? Maybe we need to check the bathrooms at City Hall. Maybe he ain't tearing the urinals out. You know, folks, and here's the gift. I'm going to tell you, I really appreciate everybody that has commented, called, and spoke to me. The best thing you can do for me is subscribe to our channel. You can subscribe on YouTube, on Rumble, several other channels. But here's the thing. I have the amount of time that John Wilber Gunter spent in jail. And I told you previously the amount of time that he was facing. So the first 10 people that can accurately guess the amount of time served by John Gunter, I will, at no charge, gift you a straight out of John Gunter's closet t-shirt, free of charge. That's the first 10 people that comment and tell me how many days you believe Mayor John Gunter served in jail. Folks, vet these candidates. If they are anything to do with TM strategies, or they are not a grassroots candidate, you need to really look into their past, because nobody else is. And thank goodness that Anne Arundel County was nice enough to send me this information. And John, I asked you to resign. You know that you've got two massive efforts to have you recalled, and you trying to stifle me in public comment and trying to act like you're some type of Hitler or something. It's not going to work with me. You can't shut me up. Folks, you need to look out for your citizens. Look around at the people you know, you trust, and encourage them to run for public office. We need grassroots candidates that actually care about our Florida. People who want to have paradise back. Now look, I'm a Floridian. John Gunter made a comment that he didn't even know if I even was able to vote in Cape Coral, Florida. Well, John, ain't none of your business. What is business? I grew up in Cape Coral, Florida. and it was my home most of my life. And it is not a place for carpetbaggers like you to come in and destroy and take money from hard-working citizens and a lot of hard working people that have retired and living off of a limited income. You are the worst mayor we have ever had in the area of Lee County. You will go down as the most hated politician in this area. Folks, I'm Smoking Joe. Love, peace, and gator grease. Anybody that wants copies of this, email me. I'll be glad to send it to you. I'm not talking about you establishment freaks. Y'all should have had it already. Thank you for watching. Love, peace, and gator grease. I love you, Florida, and I'm Smoking Joe.